Salutations and praise the table. It's another mock review by Anaru LST. This time we have Gunner. Gunner, the green of my RGB album. Now this is... oh my goodness. I think this is older than Anaru. Not counting the fact that I have rebuilt him recently. And I rebuilt him completely from the ground up. And it was actually a little difficult figuring out his shoulders again. Yeah. So this mock, he's really weird in some areas. Really unique, and his anatomy is super weird. I really like weird anatomy. So I built him pretty much right after I got the Brain Attack Breeze. Just had her together for like a week, and then took her apart right after that, and just went to work building this guy. And it was pretty weird. It was just really weird. That's the whole theme of this guy. Really weird. So, a little bit of a backstory with this one. He's a Dark Hunter, and that's his code name, Gunner. And what he is right now is a sort of a radioactive plasma sort of energy being, and he's bound within this suit of armor. And if he wasn't, he would dissipate and irradiate in a very rather large area, and he would die for certain, and a lot of other people would die for certain, and that's not very good, not very good at all. And so when he first emerged from the energized protodermis that created him from whatever he was before, he started leaking, and that made him very afraid. And so he was found by the Dark Hunters in a very weakened state, and then the Shadowed One offered him a deal. He saw great power, so he provided him the suit in exchange for becoming a Dark Hunter. And so his destructive capabilities, if he doesn't fire these weapons very often, he's going to explode, and that's not going to be good. He's just a nuclear reactor in constant meltdown, and that's really cool and violent and stuff like that. Ooh, sorry about the noise. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it as far as his story goes. So let's just... gee willikers, that anatomy is super weird. He doesn't have any hands. Who needs hands when your job is just blowing up stuff 24/7? Let's get right down into those plastic shins. So people don't really seem to like these shins. They don't like how the Nuva armor is. I mean, it doesn't inhibit his feet too much. Like, there's a gap in there with the Hero Factory foot. The most standard Lego foot ever at this point. The most standard color and shape of foot ever. But hey, it gets the job done. I just wish it came in more colors, or it does come in more colors, but Lego never uses them. Even when they would be better suited for the set, they just seem to plop these silver ones on there. Just a little Borak eye on there for decoration. So on the back here, you can tell that these are just plain old Roxy legs. Painted them silver, because why not? I'm a super impurist. And we have a little dish here to show off that energy sort of theme. And on the front, this Nuva armor and this Pohatu claw thing, it's pretty alright. It looks pretty cool, I think. Some people don't think so. There's nothing really wrong with the lower legs as far as I'm concerned. Like, it's the upper legs that I'm not too keen on. Like, I don't really like them that much, but I don't know what to do instead. Because from the front they look pretty swell. But when you turn them, they don't look very swell. That's just how it goes. This construction is yeah, you can see that construction. It's just a plain old Inika limb. And then this Rakshi hunchback thing. And then a hand there. Fill out the space a little bit. Wish I could fill it out a little more, but it's a little difficult. And just gaps and gaps, and it doesn't look very good. But from the front it does look pretty alright. Like when you bend his leg, that comes up a little bit, and it doesn't look too good. And if you have it all the way straight, there's a huge gap there, and so about this degree of bendage is just the best thing for his leg. Moving up a little bit to his hips. So, you know, this slicer feet, you gotta find a place to put those slicer feet, because you're never gonna use enough of them, because slicer feet are just the bee's knees. This crotch armor here, it's just Inika armor, nothing much to say about that. Let's take this off, show you the construction. It's just a bit of Technic mumbo-jumbo, nothing much to say there. It's standard Vaki pelvis. Standard Vaki pelvis connection. Not so standard torso though. Like this is a Vaki leg. This torso is a leg. It's kind of like Kina that way. And yeah, that's his butt. Not much of a butt. This torso is pretty dang cool. Pretty dang cool. We got this Motoro chest plate, Motoro pauldron chest plate, and another Borak eye in there to give off the energy theme. This MOC has like 5 Borak eyes on it. 5 trans lime Borak eyes on it. Yeah, just 5. And that's his, you know, heart light sort of thing. Nothing much to say about it. So his head, it's just the Hero Factory Breeze head with the brain attack thing on it. Breeze would have looked a lot better with this one. This one came with Surge. And that Surge head has served me well, very, very well, with Elegy. So yeah, nothing much to say about the head. Not custom at all, but it gets the job done. It looks pretty menacing. It's actually in proportion with the rest of his body, which is a little bit diminutive by my standards. And, you know, I've seen this used a fair bit of times where it just makes the head look super tiny, and it bugs me when that happens. Like, can they not see it? That their head is super tiny, but the rest of their body is like Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger? I really like this connection here with the pauldron slash chest plate slash thing with the Technic eye connector or T connector. And that's pretty cool. It looks like it can flap, but it kind of can't because there's a bunch of other stuff in the way, and it's sort of kind of connected in other places. Sort of kind of. I'd like to talk about these shoulders for a minute because they flop. They flop. But if you only use the ball joint and let it stay flopped, it can go out not a perfect... Yeah, it still kind of flops. Even though I Sharpied that, I think. Did I? Yeah, I Sharpied that. Sharpied that a little more recently. His arm, it's got this Nuva shoulder armor with the pipe just threaded through the whole thing. Kind of make it look like, you know, he's a machine, he's got stuff going places, he's a functioning machine. This back, it looks pretty great. It's kind of like a vault cover, kind of like a safe mechanism where you can turn it and like open him up to fix him or something. That looks pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Yeah, and it gets a little complicated in there, you know. But it's all, you know, oh, maybe that's not as connected as I thought, just those two places on the front. But that's all it needs. It'll stay there. Alright, so these arms, they got this, just a Rakshi upper leg. Ooh, excuse me. So, alright, it's been a few hours, and hopefully I won't be interrupted again. So these arms, they're pretty simple. They're just, you know, Rakshi. Yeah, that's where I was, wasn't it? Rakshi limbs, painted, of course. And the lower arm is just a Hero Factory bone. We got a stud shoved in there to get some more trans green there. And here is the construction of this gun apparatus. It really puts the gun in gunner. This thing flops around a little bit, but it generally stays if you don't touch it. And this armor is pretty great. If you take off all the gun stuff and then you like put a Hero Factory fist on there, and then you can turn this around, and then it's nice little handed arm, which he doesn't need, but it's pretty alright. Like, I always imagine somebody coming up to him and going like, "Huh, my weapon's pretty big, where's your weapon?" He's like, "I am a weapon!" Just whips out his guns, goes, "Wow!" So yeah, that would be pretty funny. That would be a pretty funny skit. And, so down here he's got like a sword thing, and that can kind of, if you take this pin out, you can take it out and flip it forward so he can display his melee prowess if somebody gets too close. So that's a pretty great bayonet, I'd say. A little big for a bayonet. So, that's a thing. It's pretty alright looking. Well, there's nothing much more to say about this guy. He's really, really freaking old. I'd say he mostly holds up with the rest of my MOCs that are around today. And, that has been Gunner. Bye-bye.